Hi everyone, Jan Furston here with Furston House. I'm back. It's been quite a long time since I've done a video, and so this is like my third try to get this one started. I have a very special journal to show you today, and this one, it's taken forever. It's several months in the making, and once you see it, maybe you'll understand why it takes so long. The premise behind it started a couple of years ago when I created one for myself, and I took cutouts from this book. It's called 100 Dresses, Costume Institute, Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I just went through and cut out, you can see some of where I've still cut out some. And I backed the cutouts with either cardstock or tea stain paper or both, just depending on what I felt was necessary. And then on the reverse, I wrote on each one as to, who made them, the time frame that it was made, and that sort of thing. And that was, like I said, a couple of years ago. And then I got such an amazing response to them that I've decided finally to create two more. This one is the first of two, and I'm not sure when the other one's going to get done because it takes so long. But so let's just get started. It's a semi-soft cover that I have created, and this fabric, beautiful fabric, I love this. This came, I think I purchased this in Seattle about 30 years ago. And then when my husband went to Korea, he was in the army, and he had this seamstress sew up several items of clothing for us. They're fabulous seamstresses, just amazing. And by the time that he had these made, that top was so tiny. I haven't fit in it in this, 15 years. But I couldn't get rid of it because of it's just, I love the fabric. So I thought, well, I'll just cut it up and use it. And that's what I've done. And I've enjoyed using it over the years. I still have a little bit left, but you can see the little glistening. I'm hoping you can see that. And then I've just put that on top of a heavier cardstock and fabric underneath it to give it some heft. The dimensions are 7 inches wide, 10 inches tall, and she is a hefty 4-inch spine. On here I've put this beautiful brooch. Now you don't have to keep the brooch on here. That's entirely up to you. I've just pinned it on. And of course now it's caught in a, alright, let go. I've just thought it matched so well. And I've had this one for ages too, and you sometimes you get something you think it's perfect, but it doesn't work with just about anything, and then one time it shows it works with everything. You can actually use it as a pendant or as a brooch. I just thought it went perfect, so all I did was just pin it down on there. So I'm going to put that aside there. The lace is vintage, very fine lace. I just love this, and I made a nice length of it so that if you wanted to use that for something else, you could. Sometimes, like for instance, mine does not have a closure on it. I just keep it like this. That's entirely up to you. On the spine, I've taken an old necklace and just let it fall. It was just so beautiful. It's much longer than this actually, and I just cut it off and did up the ends, and I just love it. And I thought, well, that's perfect. So again, I'm going to put him over here, and then you can see the complete book. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right off, it's a bit fiddly. That's what I call it. In mine, I've learned a lot from making mine. All of the paper dolls, if you will, were loose, and they slide around, they do this, that, and everything else. And I thought, okay, so I want these more stationary. And so what I've done is I used Velcro, little circles of Velcro to hold them in place. So it's a little bit fiddly in that you have to be careful how you take it out and put it back in and stuff. But that was the only way I felt that I could really do it. I was going to use magnets, but my husband informed me that if I put that many magnets in here, because each one basically has two. Some have one, but, and I think they're, what, 40? Are there 40 or anyway, whatever, however many there are dolls in here. He said if you had that many magnets, you probably wouldn't be able to open the book very well. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So then I tried removable glue. That didn't work. So we went with Velcro. And front and back, you'll see that I have these pockets made out of this antique lace doilies. They're so fine. I just love them. So I was thrilled to be able to use those. And in here, this is a fan. It's a digital kit. And I'll try and put all the links below that I've used, the ones I can remember, because I've used different ones. But isn't that sweet? And I'll just put it all together with a bit of green ribbon and a little antique button on the front and back. That's a vintage button. The one on the front's antique. And they still have, it's 2 different buttons. And this one still has the original thread in it. I love it when I can find original threads. But there you see how pretty it is. And it opens up, you know. And you can use that to actually write on. What I would do, personally, I always like to put when I started a journal, and then when I finish it, I go back and put when I ended it. And that way at a glance, I know what time frame it covers, because I have so many journals. That's what I like to do. I like to know, okay, I want to go back and look at something from such and such year, then I've got it. Now in this, this is just an envelope. I've used one of the faux seals. That's glue, actually, from a glue gun. You just squirt it out and put your wax seal in it, and you've got it. And here are a few of the small pieces that I have. And again, they're all from this book. And what this does is show you exactly what I've done. I've taken them, cut them out. I've backed them with tea stain paper. Sometimes cardstock, just really depends. And on the reverse of each, I've put the type of dress it is, the time frame that it was came out, and then who was responsible for designing and creating it. So here are 4 of them. There's the first one. You can see I've taken jewelry bits and pieces, just all kinds of stuff, and just gone through and had fun with it. So it's really kind of like a treasure box. I love going through mine. I every now and then I'll open it up and I just have such fun with it. So that one is an at-home gown, 1876 to 78, and it's American. And here we have a modern one. Notice the leather thigh-high boots and the short mini skirt. But I love the embroidery on there is fascinating. And some of them, they only put in small pictures instead of large ones. Irritates me to no end, because I would love to see a full scale of this one, but they didn't have it. This one is an evening ensemble, House of Chanel, by Karl Lagerfeld, 1990. And here we have one, little pearls there, and those are feathers, by the way. There's another piece in here that shows you it's not a large dress. Again, this is one that they didn't put the whole dress in there, but it has a close-up of these feathers, and it's just amazing. Evening dress, 1960s, by Givenchy, and it's of course French. Just beautiful. And there's a little bling there, if you will. This one's an evening dress, fall winter of 57-58 by Dior. Now what always amazes me about true fashion is that it will last forever. You could easily wear something like this, something like that, especially that one. You know, it lasts far beyond just a simple fad. True fashion, I think, is much longer. Now obviously you wouldn't want to wear something like that today, especially in the South where it's so hot. But that's something that's always fascinated me about fabrics and fashion and thing, is that some of them are simply timeless. You can wear them forever. Okay, so as I said, it's a bit fiddly, and because I didn't think that anyone would want to write back here, and I didn't think that anyone would want to write on the back of each of the dolls, so what I've done is each one has a pocket, and inside the pocket are the pages that you write on. I've done decorative stitching on all of the tops of the pockets. And as I said, I've used Velcro because, again, mine, they slide all over the place. I have to go back and fix mine, but here we have it. And you do have to be a bit careful. This one, in mine, it was stationary. You couldn't take it out of the book. And there's another large one in here that was the same way in my book. But I thought, you know, I want to be able to take this one out, and or whoever purchases it can take it out. You see the jewelry that I put on her, necklace, bracelet. This was a cutout. It was basically a close-up of these pieces here. So I just cut it out and then put it on there, and I thought it looked really cool. But can you imagine the width of this thing? I mean, you had to go through a door sideways, literally. But that was the fashion in 1750. And it was called a robe à la française, and it was called a court dress. So you would use something like this to appear before the king or the queen, whoever was in power. And so that it had to be super special. And here you see the Velcro bits I've done. What I have done here, I mounted the Velcro onto little tabs so it wouldn't wear on the paper. And so anyway, so this one folds up because it was so large. And then you just have to slide her in. And like I said, a bit fiddly. With my hand, I just kind of feel back there where the start of the Velcro is, and I just kind of put her in there, and she's done. But you could see it'd be very difficult to sit here and write on something like this as well. So again, that's why you have these papers on the inside. I'll try and put the links below of all the paper digital kits that I've used. Is this not gorgeous or what? I just love it. Absolutely love it. And this one, oh, yummy, 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 yummy. A faux seal there. That's glue, by the way. And honestly, the richness of this just, it's stunning. Now, I do know that this one came from a kit by Tailor Made Journals. And I think she calls it leather grunge or something like that. But I'll put that link below. I definitely know this one was hers. It was just stunning. So again, so you would just take this and write on it as your journal space. Much easier than trying to write in the book. And this way you can just take the book and look at it without having to write if you want to. So here we have, now as I said, most of the ones have two. So again, you just have to be careful here and here. And this is the trim I put on her, a little jewelry finding, and then some lace up here with her hat. And this one is called a walking dress, 1835, and it's American. Putting them in is a lot easier. I just kind of feel with the back of my hand, find it, press it down, done. What you might find is that this, and I love this, it's a, oh, what do you call it? I'm going to forget the name of it. But it's got the glitter in it, but it does sometimes stick together. Sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Let me see if I can find one where it, well, naturally it doesn't want to now. But sometimes it kind of sticks together because it's slightly rough, but it's got the glittery in there, and I thought, perfect. That's just gorgeous. And the problem also with this is that with all the jewelry findings and everything, it becomes very thick. So that's why I didn't add any more embellishment or anything to these belly bands, if you will, because it gets too thick and then you don't get as many. So again, this one has two Velcro pieces. Little, isn't that beautiful? This is American, and it's hand-painted Chinese silk. Can you imagine? Hand-painted. And the fabric yardage that was used in making these things. Just simply amazing. Hand-painted Chinese silk. Robe a la Polonaise is the type that it's called. 1780, 1785. And this one's American. And again, there you see the little Velcro things. And here we have, come on out. This is a page that came from a magazine. I can't even remember the name of the magazine. I've had it for years. Held onto the page because it was so pretty. Sort of a satiny glisten there. And finally I thought, this is it. I'll use it for this journal. And so I've just basically backed it with some tea stain paper. Distressed it. And there you have a letter. Here we have this one, the little faux pearls up in here. I love this. And this is hand embroidered, by the way. This is not some stamped on, machine stamped embroidery. This is all hand done. And this is just the over dress. You can see underneath that it's all the way around, and then you've got all this up here. Just phenomenal. $17.98, probably European. They didn't have any other term for it other than just a dress. Was it $17.98? Oh, I'm thinking maybe, was it the Empire style Josephine? Nah, I could be wrong about that. But anyway. Okay. There we go. Like I said, some of the larger ones that are, you know, wider, I should say, they only need one to hold it in place because their skirt or whatever keeps it still. And this one actually has underneath bows. So I thought, well, okay, I've got bows. So I put little bows there. Thought that turned out really well. This is a ball gown, 1861 to 62, American, and it's made out of taffeta. So pretty. Inside we have, on some of the papers that are just plain on the inside, I went ahead and did some stenciling. Isn't that neat? Beautiful. And here, now here we have one that has designs. All of the these designs that look like this, those are from also from TaylorMade journals. I love using her. It's like a crocheted lace. Digital prints, and I use them for background, so you write over it, everything shows up really well, but it doesn't leave you with just a plain sheet of paper. That's why I like using them. Okay, there we go. Again, just a bow here, and then I put some covered buttons. I had these buttons, and I thought, well, I almost got rid of them. I thought, well, I don't usually use covered buttons, but they were so pretty, and sure enough, that's what I did with them. They work perfectly. And this one is called a day dress, American, 1857, silk plaid. So that is silk. Just gorgeous. You can see why I have so much fun with these. So that's the middle of the, what is it? 3 signatures I have, and this is the middle of that one. Now on this one's really cool. Let me get her out of here. So it's the same dress. Okay. 1855. It's either American or European, and it has 2 bodices. One for day wear and one for nighttime. I thought that was really neat. So here is your daytime one. That the bodice around here, you've got sleeves, the whole 9 yards. You just put it literally on the top. And there's my little bit of bling there. And then nighttime, beautiful. You take different bodice, put it on. You've got the little bracelets here, necklace, and the flower here. That's a vintage, no, that's an antique flower, actually, from a corsage back from the 1950s. I think that's what they consider antique anymore. I can't keep up with it all. But it is so pretty. Okay. It's one of my favorites, that one is. And then, of course, the little... I was going to put these in the pockets on the front and back, and I thought, no, I like them to be so that you can see them together. And then here we have paper for writing, and I've just put a little Madonna and child there. More beautiful paper. Plenty of writing space. I love to write, so I always look for lots of space to write in. That to me is very important. Alrighty, here's another baby. And This one, I had a lot of fun with her. So I've added the hat bit with some lace and some beads on. This was from a corsage thing I had. So I just kind of added that. And then, of course, she's got her necklace and her ring and her bracelet. And this is Winifred Sprague Walker Prosser, 1901, American. And it's called An Afternoon Dress of White Lace. Usually you don't have specific women associated with specific dresses, but this one in particular, her daughter donated the dress and actually had a picture of her in the dress. She donated the dress to some museum. I can't remember now which one, probably the Museum of Art. And so that's why you have so much information about this particular one. And here is a smaller version, same dress. She has gloves on here though. I just thought that was so cool. Put her back in here. And this is another favorite. This one in my book, it was stationary. You couldn't pull it out, but I was determined for this, the large blue one and this black one, that you should be able to pull it out. Come on. You can see. Whoops, what is that? Let's see what that is. Might be a little bit of glue. I'll work with getting that off. Just gorgeous. Maria Louisa gown. Spring, summer, 1998. John Galliano for House of Dior. Now, when I first saw this, my thought was Scarlett O'Hara in the dance scene of Gone with the Wind when she was not supposed to be dancing because she was in mourning, so she was in black, and Rhett Butler comes up to her and, of course, dances with her, and oh, the scandal. This is one of my favorites. I just love it. All the silk taffeta, I believe is what it is. But again, this one was made in 1998. It shows you that fashion can go backwards as well as forward. And the paper here. Here we have, there, isn't that pretty? This is an evening gown, 1920s, created by Mariano Fortuny. I believe is how he pronounces it. I'm not sure, but I think Fortuny. And it's Italian and it's silk. And Fortuny was known for this type of fabric that he created. Came up with a process to do this. So the dress expands or contracts, and when you take it off, it's very narrow. And then you wear it, of course, you would only wear that if you had a really amazing body to do that, but there you go. And they've tried all kinds of things to copy him, and none of it worked. I think lately, well, in the modern age, they've been able to come up with something similar, but not back then. This one, 1920s, by Raymond Duncan, who is the brother of Isadora Duncan, famous dancer. And he loved this type of dress so much that he wouldn't let anyone come into his house unless they were dressed in this particular period of time. It's quite interesting. And you've got the little gold leaves, and then I put butterflies on them here, little glass butterflies. I just thought it turned out rather well. All right, get in there. There we go. And here, got the bracelet and the little over the shoulder. Beautiful. Silver satin evening gown. Versace, Italian, 1996. And this one, I love the material. I don't care for the style, but because to me there's no shape to it. But I love the fabric. It's absolutely gorgeous. Evening Gown with a Wrap, 1974 by Halston. And it's American. And let's see the paper here. We have a smaller butterfly print. And then on this one, I just put a little butterfly there. This is the end of the first signature. This is one of my favorites. Okay, I have a lot of the favorites. Okay, I admit it. Come on. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ribbon embroidery. There's the detachable train that came down here. It actually ended up coming further down here, but it wouldn't fit on the page. And I couldn't get it to look right. So I just cut it off at the most important part. And I've just added the flowers to mimic these flowers. I love the style, the drop waist, and it's just so beautiful. And this was also a court presentation ensemble, 1928, by Bonsoir, French. And unfortunately, they didn't show this, but they told us about it, which was rather aggravating. But it says also included, but not shown, were a headdress and a fan. Now, can you imagine what a headdress and a fan would have looked like? Why they left it out, I do not know. They could have left something else out, but not this. All of these things were required by the dress rules of court at that time, and it was worn by Mrs. George Henry O'Neill for presentation before King George V, June of 1928. Find where she's at here. There we go. Okay, we have the beginning of the second signature. This here is actually a sweater. And then you have the drop-waisted dress. I love that style. Little glass hearts here and a little glass heart there. And this was Chanel. Day Ensemble, 1927. Gabrielle Coco Chanel, French. She was also the one that came up with the little black dress. But she revolutionized fashion at the time because she made it pretty but wearable and comfortable, as opposed to beautiful and uncomfortable. That was one of the many things that she did. So. And inside here, isn't that gorgeous? And then more paper. Love it, love it, love it. Stenciling, I did that, but just so that it wouldn't be plain on the inside. Here we have, come on, you have to come out. I think this one was also Chanel. Yes, Evening Ensemble, 1933 to 35. Created by Gabrielle Coco Chanel, two-piece using tulle lace and ostrich feathers. Some of them I have a good description of, some of them I don't. It just depends on what they gave as a caption. And then here we have, this one's pretty. (1913). Paul Poiret, French. Poiret. Not sure. I won't slaughter it anymore by even trying. I'm reminded of Hercule Poirot in Agatha Christie's novels. My favorite author. Her and Harper Lee. And here we have Beautiful dress. I've just put in the little white flowers with the faux pearls. Evening dress, Spring Summer 1947 by Jacques Fat. Did figure out how to, it's not Fath, it looks like Fath, but I think they pronounce it Fat. Yeah, whatever, French. Okay. Let me find the back of it. There we go. And inside here, these were just pictures that I cut from the book. Beautiful pages. All right, come on in. You can see how much fun this is, but it does take forever and a day to get it to do right. Come on. Gotta come out. Beautiful. Although I'd hate to have to know that that thing was at my waist. It'd drive me nuts, but I've given her a bracelet and a little necklace too. This one is called an Eventail cocktail dress. I'm not sure where it gets that name, but I don't know. Fall Winter 56-57 by Dior. Reminds me of that movie recently, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and she went to the House of Dior. It was a lovely movie. And I think that's where they get the Eventail. It's like a, I don't know, some kind of a fantail or something. Who knows? Find my thing here. Balenciaga evening dress, fall winter 65-66. I need to work on that little, he's trying to come loose, so I'll have to get him down some. I'll fix that. Bracelet and the little dragonfly. That's what was fun, is I have all these jewelry pieces. I had a lot of my own, and then I've used them up, and then a sweet friend of mine, Kathy White, gave me a huge amount of them at our last retreat. Oh goodness, Kathy, you just don't know how much fun I've had with these. And it's nice to find something that just seems to match perfectly. So there, and I'll just put that little bit there. And this. Oops, upside down. All right, you don't want to play, do you? There she goes. And this is the middle of the second signature. And again, this was a bracelet. Can you imagine trying to walk with all this stuff around you? Ugh, drive me nuts. But it's cool. It's got the lace up on the side. Evening gown, 1987. Christiane Lacroix of the House of Patou, French. Come on. Like I said, some of them are a bit fiddly. It's so pretty. Bracelet, necklace, and then the Pisanelle, no idea. Cocktail Ensemble, Fall Winter, 49.50 by Christian Dior, French. I love the way the wrapping is done. Beautiful. I need to hurry up or I'm going to end up having two. Come on. Some of them are finicky. And they don't want to come up. Yeah, see that one came off. I'll have to re-put that one on. Evening dress, $38.39, created by Coco Chanel. That was done right before the start of World War II. You can see how I've got these. So you can imagine that it would come up and pull on the paper itself. So obviously didn't glue that one down right. So we'll fix him. There we go. This one, I always get a kick out of looking at this one. It's a bracelet that I have. I get bracelets at thrift shops and things like that, or jewelry at thrift shops and things. It's called a staircase dress. Fall Winter $94.95 by Issei Miyake. Japanese. Kind of reminds me of an alligator. Is an alligator or a crocodile that has these things on it? What can I say? And here we have more beautiful paper. I've just done a I'm trying to hurry. It's not easy, but Spring Summer 1924 Robe de Style by Lanvin, Jean Lanvin. I've just put these bits and pieces there. I've had those buttons for ages, never could figure out what to do with them, and there you go. She's got a ring in her necklace. And this was the Y evening dress, Fall Winter 55-56 by Dior, with his assistant, Yves Saint Laurent, French, and it's matte velvet with satin. Beautiful. You could easily wear something like that today. All right, where is it? There we go. Beautiful papers. Oh, there's another one that's come off. Karim, Evening Ensemble, Fall Winter, Christian Lacroix, 87-88. I have a feeling, oh, and that one, apparently I didn't even put one on. Haha, that's cute, Jen. But still, I'd rather them be a little fiddly than flying all over the place, because once they start moving around, that's when they start losing their jewelry. Cyclone Evening Dress, $39, created by Lanvin. Two-tiered gray silk taffeta embroidered with metallic sequins and pink beads with decorative pocket attached at the waist by a self belt. So that was a pocket that's literally attached to there. That's the way ages and ages ago they would have their, quote, purses. It would be a pocket. And beautiful, beautiful paper. I'm watching this so that I'm hoping it won't stop. Evening Gown 1910-14, Calo Soie in French. This is another one they didn't have a full picture of, and it just irks me because it looks so beautiful. But this is the close-up of the fabric. So you can imagine how beautiful it would have looked in a larger thing, but what do I know? Here we have, it's an old necklace. Christian Dior, French, 1952-53. And this one reminded me of a chatelaine, so I gave her a set of keys and a little watch. And it is Popover Dress, circa 42, by Claire McCardle, American. It's called a wraparound dress. And the papers. I am trying to hurry. I don't hurry well. Evening Ensemble, Spring Summer 1980 by Yves Saint Laurent, French. 80s. Wide shoulders. Tell you what, I'm just to speed things up, I'm going to just do it this way. I would really love to do one video of this whole thing. May Ball Gown, Spring Summer of 53 by Dior. Hand embroidered. Why is it that this is doing this on tape and it didn't do it before? Because it's on tape, that's why. Murphy's Law. Cape and Dress by Jean Patou, 1931. And this is by Yoshi Yamamoto, Spring Summer of 2005, Japanese. Evening Dress, 1960-65 by Cristobal Balenciaga. I'm sure I've mispronounced his name, but oh well. Evening Gown, Spring Summer of 2000 by John Galliano for the House of Dior, French, and it's silk taffeta. And that is the dress that I told you about earlier with the feathers. And then there's another dress. And that would have been so heavy to wear. All those beads, very heavy. Beautiful paper here. This one is fun. (1965) French Day Ensemble Coat Dress by Andre Courage. Who knows? Oh, let's put them over here. Had those little things for ages, and again, I was finally able to use them. A Day Dress and Coat, Fall Winter 57-58 by Anne Fogarty, American. Evening Ensemble, Fall Winter 76-77, and it's by Yves Saint Laurent. And then we have come on. Oops. Evening Gown 1990-92 by Emmanuel Ungaro. It's called L'Elephant Blanc, or Blanc, L'Elephant Blanc. Evening dress, spring summer of 58, Yves Saint Laurent, for the House of Dior. Put in some lace here. Just gorgeous papers. And our last one that is in here. Little Black Dress, Fall Winter 87-88, House of Chanel by Karl Lagerfeld. Lagerfeld became the head designer for the House of Chanel in 83. This is made of black vinyl and black polyester jersey. And that, believe it or not, was an earring. And then in the back, last one, this one is House of Dior, not 2009. I just put her in there because it's kind of crazy and fun looking. So, that, I've made it hopefully in one video. If you have any questions, let me know. It is for sale, just private message me. You can reach me at FursdenHouse@AOL.com. I'm on Instagram as Fursden House, and then YouTube, Fursden House Journals. Hope you've enjoyed this. I had a wonderful time making it, and that's enough because I'm afraid I'm going to run out of film, or whatever it is, time, I guess, not film anymore. Have a lovely day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.